Oh, violence does call me, I've answered before. I'd made many enemies and settled my scores. But came a cry from a man that I'd known, someone to whom rare compassion I'd shown. And so I opened up my door to the man who promised me blood and war. For I craved violence, I craved to be free from the people who wish to control me. Yes, I believe in anarchy's reign, and I know that dictators only bring pain. Oh, woe to thee, people of order. I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you'll never rise again and leave me be and leave my friends.
Last time on the Tower of Souls camp, we got back to town where we had heard previously about, I believe, the Nightbinder, and it was a very plot-oriented episode, if I do believe. So we talked amongst ourselves, asking, what's it like to kill somebody, and also just playing with a little Displacer Beast that we have decided to name Artie. Tzaz also had a dream of a tall forest with vines and flowers, and visited his god, Shnar, who revealed that there is a god living in the tower, and that there is an item missing inside of the tower, but that they will mention later. Haven also came down in a big robe toga because their clothes had been destroyed while Tzaz had mended his, so we decided to do a little shopping. Haven had been avoiding Tzaz after everything that happened, and Ash had managed to find a pet store for Artie, where we got plenty of good little things like a little mouse, and a laser pointer, and I believe catnip as well. Tzaz also offered to help Rhys with swordplay as well. We picked up some belts. Haven got their costume fitted. Ange was poking some butts with Mage Hand, and we got our costumes fitted. And with our new outfits and a whole lot of bunches of pants and fixed armor, we also visited Bertha, who looks human, but is actually a dragon with reptile eyes, and to make us a bunch of potions.
So it is, after a full day of shopping, it's probably around 2 o'clock by now. You've been around, and Haven, you were able to stop and get the bags and boots that you wanted to purchase. At some point, Angeli snuck off for a short period, but came back, just needing to stop at the leather shop to make an order. Everybody is good now, so you could choose to spend the day here and we can fast forward, or you can choose to leave now to do something else. You know that the tower still awaits you. I know that Daya has a room for the night at least, but you don't know for how much longer.
I think we should probably go and tell the Fangs that we're heading back to the tower. Whether we do that now or have a chill day and then go in the morning, but we could potentially make it the whole way there if we left now, and then head in first thing in the morning if we wanted.
That sounds like a good idea. Do we want to make sure that Daya is set up to stay if she wants to for potentially multiple nights before we go? Because we might not know how long we're going to be in the tower for.
Yeah, sure. We should definitely do that.
I don't know, it didn't sound like it was a good idea to camp around the tower, though.
We could always camp in the doorway. We have protective lesbians.
Or we could spend the night here.
Or yeah, we could spend the night here and go first thing in the morning.
Go to bed early, you could just leave early.
I kind of favor that. If we drop by the Fangs, though, maybe we can catch a ride with one of their rotation.
Yeah, maybe we'll hit them on the way by and everything.
That way we can still sleep on the way there.
Maybe we'll just check on Daya and get to bed nice and early.
I actually want to spend the entire remainder of the day slowly day drinking and working on the translations. So I want to work on a translation for long enough that I can do at least one book and probably take it back to the bookstore before the bookstore shuts.
Okay.
Because what I'd like to do is, while I'm there, see, this isn't like a shopping episode, but see if they have a book on found family. So I want to trade in that book and then just say, do you have any of this? Yes, no, great, I'll have it in exchange or something.
How much did I specify you would get per book? I'll say 2 gold each.
Okay,
book
cool.
After the first one.
After the
Okay.
first one.
Yeah, because you're trading the first one for their translation.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to make up what the heck that book is about that you're getting translated because I don't remember.
It was just a book on Infernal.
Or do you mean the one we found in the tower?
The one you found
We
in the
didn't have.
tower.
Oh, that was in Ancient Elvish. She can still be working on that
Okay.
because I don't want that one right now. I want a found family one.
Okay. Cool. You're gonna spend the day translating that book
Slowly drinking.
and drinking, which makes your handwriting get sloppier and sloppier the more you do it.
Absolutely.
Some mixed translations happening. It's not done perfectly. Actually, roll me a con save.
See, now this is where you wanted to be one of those monks that stay back and copy books.
Just start adding swears.
A con save. That's an 8.
Great. Yeah, so about halfway through, your translations are not great. It's kind of hard to understand and read. You get mixed up on a lot of the words with another language that is nothing like this language whatsoever, but there is translations from what languages do you know?
Abyssal, Goblin, and Infernal.
Okay, you get Abyssal and Infernal mixed up constantly starting halfway through, and the words are just very different, so the sentences make absolutely zero sense, but you're not going back to reread the sentence. You're just going as fast as you possibly can.
Okay.
So when she gets to that point, we'll see what happens. But for now, you're translating the book.
Awesome.
Matt, what are you doing for the day?
Before, I guess, the evening, I would like to check on Daya, but I'd probably check to see if Angeli would like to join me.
Is this first thing sort of thing?
It's the middle of the day, 2 o'clock.
That sounds good. I have some plans for the evening, but sure.
And then to Angeli privately. Okay, because I also figured too, I wanted to give Daya some time to rest, but if they can explain anything that happened or anything from whatever they might remember, I don't have to be there for that if you don't want, but you don't even have to ask them now. But
No, I'm okay with you being there. Maybe she does have some idea of someone we can talk to in the city about whatever that magic was that you determined around my head.
maybe, and I think Rhys, or we should still have that book too with us. Yeah, we'll go check on Daya. Give a knock.
She opens the door and she is in her normal attire. She looks like she has a ring of candles laid on the floor and different herbs. So it looks like she was in the process of meditating.
Hi.
Good morning. Welcome. Did you need something? Is everything okay?
I actually wanted to check how you were doing. I know that it's been rough however long, and I wanted to check and see how you were feeling.
I'm feeling cramped, but good.
I know that we talked to you about, we took an expedition into the tower, and we are going to be doing we're going to go early in the morning tomorrow, and I wanted to not only make sure that you were good, but also we've been making some money from doing so, and I wanted to make sure that whether we make it back or not, you're at least covered here for however long you need.
Would it be possible to take that money and use it to hire people to fix my home instead?
Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem. Just might have to lead them through, but yeah.
I can lead them through. I just don't want to stay in the city much longer. It's
I get it.
been a while since I got to stretch my wings.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can do that.
How tall is Rhys?
I feel like I keep giving different answers, but he's probably 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, so Angeli kind of is behind Rhys and is standing noticeably over his height. She's 5'10", and then plus some with wings. And she actually gives a little bit of a look with that spread the wings, and she kind of double takes on Dea to look to see if she has wings that she just didn't notice before. Wings? I didn't know you had wings.
Oh, you can't see them in my human form. And then she blinks her eyes, and her humanoid-looking eyes turn into dragon eyes, like the woman that you met, Bertha.
Oh.
And then she blinks again, and they turn back to normal.
That is marvelous. I like that.
It's how I keep the ruins safe. I'm older than I look, and I look pretty old, so that's saying something.
Yes, whatever, Rhys is exactly right, and I'd be happy to help contribute to that as well. Anything to make your place safer.
I just need the roof fixed, honestly, and the stairs. Once that's done, I can do everything else.
What happened when I assume you were attacked?
Well, I was telling you all about the situation where I had found Angeli, the Nightbender mage. He found the house probably because I destroyed 17 to 20 of his men, and he came with backup. But most of the damage that you see, the giant circle in the roof, that was caused by a shatter spell, where the entire roof just dissipated and just got destroyed. The stairs was caused by a fireball. Thankfully, I was able to cast some cold magic over it before it burnt too badly, because otherwise the house wouldn't be standing anymore. But I was surprised that he was able to trap me, because usually I'm this isn't me to be cocky, but usually I'm stronger than most alive still. There's very few mages that have the talents that I have, but evidently the Order has a few that are talented as well.
Is Rhys familiar with the Nightbender?
It was mentioned in the prior conversation
Uh-huh.
that was the person in charge, that was a mage of the Order that
Okay.
attacked them.
Okay.
That seemed to be looking for something in the ruins.
Yes, he's looking for something in the ruins, but she was not able to find out what.
Do you have somebody already in mind? Like, are you familiar with the city? Someone that can do those kind of repairs? Or should we look for people while we're out and about?
There are some people who owe me favors. I can call those in, but materials aren't free.
Yeah.
So the costs are mostly going towards that.
Rhys, you have your bag, right? That one
Yeah,
with lots
yeah,
of
I
room?
do. Yeah, hand that over.
Her tied up bundle of money and just hand it over to Dea. Here, this should help somewhat.
How much are you handing over?
450 gold.
She will look inside and say, I do not need this much, but thank you. And she will reach in and take out 100. Will this suffice? And then hands you the bag.
It's more than I've had
350.
for a long time, so, I mean, if you think it suffices for yourself...
100 gold will be more than enough, I'm sure. Use that money wisely. You can get yourself some items in the future.
All right. She'll tie it back up and hand it back to Rhys to put in the bag again.
Right back in the bag. Shoot. Before they go, Rhys is gonna kind of awkwardly hug Daya, even if she's not expecting it.
She pulls you in for those big warm grandmother hugs. Minus a sloppy kiss on the cheek that nobody wants.
I really do imagine Rhys's entire time in the ruins was just like every other day was running into some like wild magic or some kind of suffering, and really having Daya help lead him around and be there. I think that was a really important part of Rhys's life, and she was somebody really important to him, and is still really important to him, and he's really happy to have her.
She pats you on the cheek and says, with the money I'll be able to call on the favors. I'll lead them to the ruins. You both have more important things to do today.
Once Rhys steps back, Angeli will step up and offer a hug as well.
She gives you just as equally a warm hug.
I've never been hugged by a dragon, I don't think. And as she's in close, she'll just whisper, "Thank you very much for all you've done for me. I really appreciate it."
Of course, I can't stand when people take advantage of someone that isn't as powerful as them just because you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know what you overheard, but soon I will be working on a way to reverse that magic, and hopefully I'll be able to assist with pulling away the veil.
Thank you, I think.
When we leave, I just want to talk to Angela.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful, Daya, and thank you.
Always am.
So I have a theory, and I'm going to keep looking into it as far as what's affecting your memory. I think because it sounds like the Order uses a lot of enchantment spells and a lot of spells that could modify your memory, but with how much wild magic occurs in the ruins, it could have had an effect on that modify memory and could have had an effect of erasing everything. I'm gonna try to keep trying to find a way to help, whether you want it or not. More so, I mean, like, even if you don't want it, we don't have to do anything, but I'm still gonna look into
I
it.
appreciate that, Rhys.
Also, I had no idea she was a dragon. I thought that was like an expression.
That was my next question to you. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
She said a lot of times, like, I'm going out for a flight, but you just assumed she was, like, flying on, like, a broom or something.
No, I just assumed that was like a word or like an expression. Like, oh, okay, like, I'm going out for a run. I'm like, oh, okay. Rhys, especially when he was younger, he was very oblivious. And he was
Yeah.
just like,
You are pretty good at noticing things, so I would suspect she didn't probably take dragon form often.
yeah, I pay attention. Cut flashback to like she's in dragon form in the backyard, and Rhys is just like head in a book, not paying attention at all.
It was very easy for her to get away with it around you. Oh, he's reading. Perfect.
Wasn't even trying to hide it. Was just he just. Oh, I never noticed.
She just assumed you knew.
All Angeli was going to do for the rest of the day after this wraps up was she was going to go kind of around town and she wants to just take in some music and listen to some music. But she also wants to see if anybody, like any of the undercurrents of discussion, are mentioning anything about Karthus, the incubus that we took out, anything about his death, or anything about Theros' death, and anything that could possibly link back to us. Making very indirect inquiries and checking up on that.
Okay, make an investigation check.
18.
1 point, you hear Theros' name mentioned. It's the shopkeep who mentions they haven't seen her in a while. But they were like, under their breath, they're like, thank all the gods because she was such an obnoxious person. It's ridiculous. But you don't hear anything about the thief.
Okay, good. Other than that, she just soaks up some entertainment and then she heads back for a fairly early night.
Haven and Ash, what are you doing? Haven's doing the translation. Ash, are you going to hang out with Haven or are you going to go do something else?
I'm going to head more towards the outskirts of town. I assume there's some kind of nature around here, around the edges of town. So I want to go somewhere a little more secluded on the edge of town. I am going to bring Artie with me, so that he can stretch his legs. And I actually want to find a nice kind of little foresty spot to hang out with Artie, but while Artie's playing around, I'm actually going to kind of sit and pray for a little while because I've been feeling a little weird ever since that dream, and there were sparks coming off my fur, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on, so I'm just going to kind of just sit for a little bit and kind of meditate and hang out with the cat. So, that's it.
Okay. Are you going to try to reach out to your god?
I don't think so. I'm just going to kind of try to see if I can identify what the kind of weird feeling is that I've got.
Okay. Roll a survival check with advantage because you know the place pretty well.
17.
Okay. You walk outside of the skirts of town, and there's a forest area that surrounds the town almost completely. And you drove through it on your way to the ruins. So you're walking through that, and you keep your ears perked and ready for any noises of monsters or creatures that might sneak up on you, but you are left alone as you both are just walking until you find about a 10-foot area that has a circle of trees, and there's a brook right nearby, so you hear the water rushing a little bit softly going over the rocks. And you find a very nice place to just sit and start meditating. As you are meditating, do you have a magic spell?
Yeah.
A magic spell attack modifier?
That's a +2.
Okay, do that roll.
13.
Okay. With a 13, you are meditating, you're trying to feel this magic inside of you, and you feel the warmth overcome you again. I'm not going to make you use a spell slot for it. As you were thinking, you feel like this is familiar. You were surrounded by ulfers, and you were surrounded by fighters when you were being raised, but also in the military. So you saw other people use these abilities, and you're realizing that these are magic abilities now that you're putting 2 and 2 together and you're just thinking about it. These are abilities that are magical in sense, and you can use them to help yourself.
Cool. I will kind of sit with that for a little bit and then just spend some time hanging out with the cat. I'll try out that laser pointer too while I'm at it.
Make a wisdom save.
Damn it! That's a 15.
Okay. You start to play with the magic pointer of sorts, and Artie loves it. Artie is chasing it. He's attacking it. He runs up trees when you try to go up, like claws and all, and gets stuck up on the tree, so you have to take him down. A couple of times when you see it and you're not paying attention, your ears perk up and you want to go you're like, I want to attack it. But you withhold your urge to, because you're like, no, that's just, it's magic. It's fine. It's not anything to attack. But it piques your interest every once in a while. You're just like, what's that? Oh, right. That's
I'm
me.
so glad nobody else can see this. But yeah, that's how I'll spend the rest of the day, and then as it gets a little bit later, I'll head back to where everyone else is.
Okay, so you eventually do head back to town, do your meditation and playing and wearing Artie out. He is dead asleep on your shoulder, not just purring and soft snores.
Cute.
Tzaz, what are you doing with your time?
That's a good question. So I wanted to ask around the Thirsty Fool and figure out any semblance of a schedule of the fight arena and what fights would happen when, particularly the non-lethal combats.
Okay. Make a investigation check.
That is a 13.
Okay. You're eventually able to find the person who usually runs the fights, and they explain to you that the fights happen when there's enough people interested. There's no set schedule necessarily, but they're usually run at night or after the moon has started to drop and the lights have started to die down for the evening. And depending on what the fighters want, depends on if it's a fight to the death or a non-death fight. So it varies every day depending on who wants to fight. So it's just case by case basis.
Okay, cool, awesome.
So if two people come in and like, I'm betting 600 gold on myself to kill you first, then that's what happens that night.
All right, awesome. And then I am going to... I honestly think I'm just going to hang out at the Thirsty Fool, have a few drinks, kick back, relax, and potentially scope out some long-term patrons to introduce Rhys to.
Okay, make a perception check.
All right. And that's how I'm going to spend my leisurely day now that I'm cleaned and washed up properly. You said a perception? That is an 8.
You glance around and there's a lot of potential, but nobody is just quite right.
Okay, cool.
At least not that you think based off what you think Rhys's style is or interests are.
Of which I really know absolutely nothing about. Awesome. Okay, cool.
You made assumptions.
oh, absolutely.
That
I
assumption.
did. Absolutely, I did. I'm just saying. I have no clue what I'm making assumptions on. Okay, all right, awesome.
But you just know that none of them are good enough for Rhys.
So sad.
Yeah, none of the people in this bar are good enough for Rhys.
I think that's a fair point.
On my way back from the bookstore, I want to go a circulatory route around the city to the Thirsty Fool, so I can go through a bunch of the more rundown areas. And I have 63 silver. I just want to find the most needy people and not outright give it to them, but find a way to slip it somewhere that they'll find it later and go, yay, this is more money than 3 years worth or something.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
6.
The first person notices and they think you're trying to steal from them.
I'll just flick the coin at them and carry on walking.
You better keep walking as they put the coin in their pocket, thinking you were stealing their silver, but they're like, I have a silver. Yeah, must have had a silver.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, overall, most of them don't notice, or you drop it by their feet and they just assume it was there and they were like, oh, my lucky day. And some of them you just like flick over to them when they're half paying attention and continue to walk. But you are able to distribute the silver throughout the slums of the area.
Then I want to stop off at a temple of Eros.
Okay.
And go in, pray for just a little bit at the actual altar. Not specifically asking for anything, just offering up thanks. And then I want to leave 50 gold.
Okay.
Because I know that they'll do really good work with it and spread the love as well.
As you are praying, you feel a warmth that surrounds you. And it's like the feeling of being cared for, like a nice warm hug. So you know your goddess has heard you. She doesn't say anything.
I would just sit with it for a while and enjoy it and then leave the gold and go.
On your way back to the Thirsty Fool, you run into Zahiri. And she's holding something in her hand and she's like, oh, perfect. I was looking for you.
Zahiri, hello, darling. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I wanted to give you something, actually, for our next date.
Delightful, thank you.
And she hands you a hat. It is a triangular shape with the sides folded upwards, and there are feathers inside of it.
Like an ostentatious pirate hat.
Yep.
Okay.
It looks nice with this outfit, but I'm sure it would look very nice with any outfit.
Wonderful, thank you. I appreciate the gift. That's most kind. I believe that we're headed to the tower tomorrow. However, upon our return, I would love to arrange when I could take you for that dinner.
I'd love to see you in that hat and an outfit that matches.
I will do my utmost then. Perhaps on the day that we return, or if it's particularly late in the evening the next day.
Perfect.
I'll call on you. And you look lovely today.
I know. And then she walks away. So everybody returns to the Thirsty Fool, if they weren't there. And it's probably around 8-9 o'clock now by the time you are all back?
I would have definitely tried to swing by Sweet Sensations if I could.
You definitely can.
Okay. Grab a few pastries. Enough for the group. And on the way back, Rhys is writing in his spellbook, but you can see that half of his spellbook is really mostly just notes for himself, drawings, doodles, and you can see he's writing down how to have a conversation. He's crossing off Sweet Sensations in his book, and he casts Minor Trick to clean himself up, and he takes one of the patches off the robe of useful items, and this little steel mirror appears, and he's making sure he looks okay, fixing his hair. And then he puts the mirror in the bag of holding as he comes back into the tavern.
Okay. Everybody is there. You see Rhys walk in looking real spiffy.
Damn, dude, looking pretty mighty fine there. You got a hot date going on?
I hope so. Have you seen Tzaz anywhere?
Yeah, I think he's just over at the bar.
Okay. And then he checks his book again. Okay. All right. Okay.
You need a hand.
No. I think. Why? Any last minute advice?
I mean, he's got the new clothes. And he loves the new clothes. So obviously, hey, you looking amazing tonight. Have you put a new smell on? I think he has got some new cologne. Maybe just have a little whiff just in case. Pretty sure he had a bath earlier. So, go with that. He's really trying to work it tonight. And I think he was looking out for someone earlier potentially for you. So just make sure you focus on him. And if he's like, oh, what about this one? It's like, yeah, but your wingtips look amazing.
Okay.
You got this. You've got this. Do you need a drink? Do you need a little tipple? And I'll offer him one of my special flasks.
Rhys, it's okay. Thank you. He'll go up to the bar, sit down. Hey
there.
Hey, I brought some pastries.
These are my favorite. Thank you so much.
Of course. I do have to say, the new outfit, you're looking absolutely amazing. And is that a new smell you're wearing?
Thank you. You look very good as well. No new smells. None of the old smells anymore. But I've been checking out and scoping out this bar all day for you. I remember we had the conversation a few days ago. There seems to be anybody in here that fits what I would assume your style is.
I mean, in terms of style, I think you have style. Your wings. Your wings are fantastic. The tips on the edge. I don't know how you even do that. That's amazing.
I'm flattered you think so. It's kind of a little family secret, if you will. Out of character. I guess it's clear to Tzaz that Rhys is inwardly focused. So I guess in character. Should we get on about dispensing practice?
Oh, yeah. Rhys looks like he almost completely forgot. But yeah, sure. Put the pastries in the bag of holding.
I think the others will be fine if we just step off for a moment.
Sure. Is it in the fight ring? Or are we...
I mean, if you want to make it a public display, we can. Or we can go somewhere a little more private. Want any nerves with all the eyes on you?
Yeah. Private's probably good.
I could just see everybody at the table just watching them leave.
Oh yeah, we are laser focused.
Popcorn suddenly appears at the table.
Yeah.
Gift from the gods.
No. Angelique casts her mage hand. She's been practicing switching drinks and stuff all night with it. So if anybody else had popcorn around, that suddenly appears on our table.
If we're not going to show off in front of everybody, might I suggest us leaving the tavern and going somewhere quieter?
Sure.
Sure, there's a number of fields or areas that we could find to practice.
Yeah, sure. I could do it in front of in the fight pit in public if you want, but we could do it privately, or we can swords. Yeah.
Yes, swords. We've got the ring right here. Let's just do it in the comfort of the fool.
Yeah. Of course.
All right then, and I will stand up and lead the way towards the fight ring, I guess.
Perfect. Right behind, just grabbing the sword like he's not a fucking wizard.
Entering the fight ring, I guess it's more like what did we say it was? It's just like a rounded off pit area, or is it like more professional than that, Nikki?
It's not fenced off. There are like a ring of chairs around it.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the rope they put up, so if people want to get up in people's faces.
Okay, cool. I get the mental visual. Awesome. Well, then I will hop over the chairs and into the ring and draw swords and
scoot in between the chairs.
You said you wanted to get better with your form and things like that, and how you hold the blade, what you do with it, obviously. So I guess let's start with your form.
Sure.
Draw your blade, get a firm grip on it, stand there like you're going to attack me.
Okay, I'm standing menacingly. Yes, unsheathed sword.
A good start. As you're standing there, I'm going to step in towards you and just slide your arm down a little bit, kick one of your feet just slightly to slide your stance in a little bit, in a position around you, and then step away, stare at you for a moment, and then I'm going to draw my blade and put the blade to your blade and be like, okay, now, swing, attack, come at me, try and hit me. If you can hit me, I'll be impressed.
All right, I will roll to attack.
All right.
Ooh, that is a 17.
I am going to use lucky and roll a 12. So I rolled a 12. So what's your plus to attack?
+3.
Okay, so you'd still hit. That's fine. Okay. All right. Caught off guard and expecting you to just stumble and miss, I try and dodge out of the way as you make some form of contact.
Hey, don't go easy on me.
I was just seeing what I'm working with. The important thing, of course, is to make sure that you can defend against and dodge against attacks that are incoming. It's not about how many times you can poke at something. It's about how many times you can get poked and keep coming back. I'm going to slide out and make an attack. Ooh, that's a big number. 18.
That'll definitely hit.
Yeah, your mage. Sorry, I forget that you have like an AC of tiny. Take a faint step towards you and kind of jut out, faint high, and then swing low and just tap the inside of your thigh with the side of the blade, not with the actual blade itself. You need to learn how to move on the battlefield a little bit better, Rhys. Honestly, you got to be light on your feet. And I'm going to jump back and forth on the balls of my toes, back and forth, just jumping around the area and kind of moving a little bit frivolously around the ring.
Well, that's easy for you. You're the one with wings. And I'm going to take another swing. Ooh, that's a 6.
You're very distracted.
Using those wings, I just flutter out of the way. It has its advantages, but that doesn't mean that you should try any less hard. But you always have to be ready for anything that comes your way. And I'm going to try, and it's not going to work, but I'm going to try and sweep the leg as Rhys passes by me. And I rolled a 3, plus my unarmed strike is a 1, so that's a 4. So that is probably not good. As I clumsily go to the ground and almost fall over on myself. Wow.
I will take that opportunity to strike again. I'm trying to impress this boy.
Mm-hmm.
You get advantage if he tumbled over.
I did tumble over. I'm on the ground.
Anjali's yelling from the back, "Pin him! Pin him!"
That's only a 12.
12. Let me see. My AC is low. My AC is a 13. Okay. So as you swing through, roll out of the way, you make an attempt to drag you down to the ground with my next attack as I'm on the ground, as I'm dodging. So that is a natural 1. Nice. Good job, me.
You go to pin Rhys to the ground and somehow Rhys is on top.
So as Rhys swings in, Tzaz would go and try and tumble Rhys to the ground and end up in a way where we both roll over twice, and Rhys ends up on their feet as Tzaz is just face down on the ground and somehow got thrown up back onto their feet.
What weapons are you used to fighting with? You fought with a scimitar before? Definitely not with form. 2-hand attack with the scimitar. That is a 22.
22. Yeah, that's going to be cleverly clever.
He's not using his technique that he learned. He's way too nervous for that, and he's almost just smacking you with the flat end of it.
You smack him in the ass with a blade.
That was uncalled for. And stand up and straighten myself a little bit. I haven't really practiced with a scimitar as much as more of your straight blades, but I had my eye on one for a friend of mine, and straighten up and pick up the short sword off the ground and swing towards Rhys overhandedly. 22.
Yeah, that's double my armor class.
I'm going to swing overhand and just come down towards Rhys right before I make physical hard contact and stop the blade and hover over their shoulder. Swordsmanship is also about control. It's about being able to stop and pull it back without drawing an actual mark or anything like that and just pull it straight backwards. It's about being able to stop as much as it is to start.
He's just holding his scimitar. Well, I've always had a curved one, but I think that's normal.
It's all in how you move the tip.
Yeah. It's not about the size of the sword, it's how you swing it.
Some people certainly say that. Never been a curved person myself. I'm going to stab out and swing again. And that is a 8. So no. Stab out with a coy smile on my face and completely whiff past Rhys.
Using the curvature of the scimitar, parrying the attack. How did you become a combat cleric? How do you get into that?
Well, it was more cleric who needed to be into combat. I like to take care of people. I like to help people out. I like to heal the wounded. It's always a good time. But sometimes you have to be on a battlefield healing the wounded. Most people don't care that you're not there to fight. Most people on a battlefield try and kill you, and so you need to be able to stay alive to help the ones that need help. Came as part of the job, not something that I necessarily wanted to do. Then you realize you're not half bad at cutting people's heads off.
Fair enough.
Party distraction.
Confetti rings and Tzaz looks up straight at the confetti, and then Rhys goes to swing but still misses completely, distracting himself in the process.
Rhys was too busy trying to notice if his distraction worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna just look up at it and just... You did see that. I'm gonna swing and tap back towards you in a poking fashion. That is a 19 to hit. So I'm going to poke the sword at you and again just stop as soon as I make contact without actually pushing in the blade at all. You just feel enough of the blade on your skin kind of touching and slightly penetrating. And then I'm going to say, all the tricks in the world won't save you when iron meets flesh.
I don't know, I think I have some good tricks. And we'll do Mage Armor and cast that on myself. But that's an action, so I don't know I think you might beat me to another attack.
As you do it, I'll draw back, because I assume I would notice some form of... Mage Armor has a visual thing, right? So
a little bit, yeah. He takes his hands and waves them over, yeah.
Now, let's keep this civil. And I'm just going to step back again into a defensive stance. After all, this is about improving what you do with your sword. Come at me.
Sure. I will take a swing. That is an 8. Rhys takes a swing, now feeling a little bit more confident in having this Mage Armor up, but you manage to dodge out of the way and end up behind Rhys.
Mm-hmm. I would again take the blade in hand and try and low sweep toward your legs. And if I make contact, I would obviously stop, but I could swing around behind and make one last slash through. That is an 11, so that would miss with the Mage Armor.
Yeah.
Swing down, low swing behind you. I assume I wouldn't even make contact. I would swing and miss as Rhys jumps over the blade.
Rhys almost trips as he jumps over, and then takes the opportunity to try to tackle Tzaz to the ground, which I think would probably just be a strength check.
Yeah, it'd just be a rule.
That is -1 to a 9.
Plus 0 to a 7.
Force.
You
Oh, we're
succeeded.
doing contested. All right.
Sorry.
I was thinking of it like armor class, but all right.
Oh no,
And
if you're
he-
tackling, it's like a grapple. So it's at.
Oh.
It's,
Oh, fantastic! I'm just trying to take him to the ground and attack him.
Successful. As we both clatter to the ground, as we're falling, I'm going to try and get the upper hand on the fall and landing. Land on top in a overtop or a, I guess, UFC style mounted position type thing to continue a combat of some sort, but not actually continue a combat. So that's a 12 to try and grapple position into a better position. I'm not really trying to attack, if that makes sense. What that would contest against.
just make it another grapple check, I guess.
Strength. Okay. So that's a 12.
That's a nat 1.
So as I take hold of this position over top of Rhys and just swing out my wings and assert a slight bit of dominance, you just see a smile come over Tzaz's face. And this is quite a position we find ourselves. But I think currently the better man is on top.
I think I'm finished.
Take a moment and then pause and back up and stand up and reach down and pull Rhys up off the ground.
Angelique's cheering in the background.
The entire tavern starts chanting "kiss."
I think as wide as the smile is getting on Tzaz's face, he would still just pick Rhys up by the arm, get them back to their feet.
Rhys gets up, but he is. If this commotion started in the tavern, he is flustered and hesitant to speak.
I think that's enough for one session.
I think so.
You're not half bad, though. I mean, in all, you've got some form issues, some endurance problems, but these things can be worked out. These are technical errors. You have a good base, and I think that's a great starting point, Reed.
Thank you.
Do you guys walk back to the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't you two feel better now?
Lovely display of testosterone. It was well done and well contained and very swordy.
Oh, I thought you said sordid.
Sordid and swordy, yes, quite.
Thank you.
How about a round for everyone?
I got some pastries for everybody.
I'll step away to the bar to get drinks for everybody, as Rhys is doling pastries.
Rhys is gonna be very quiet for the rest of the night.
I will accept the pastry and give Rhys a little clap on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you did good. That was good. Good job."
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
take
you.
a pastry and exchange you for a pint. Say, cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Thank
Really
you.
well done. It's good going.
He's gonna drink that. Earlier he was like, no, I don't need that. Now he's going for it.
Angelique thanks you for the pastry and just mentions, I think you have to follow through more, though. Because you had the crowd just on following you all, but... oh well. Better luck next time, though.
I don't want to push anything. We'll see. Takes a very long swig.
Oh, by the way, today I was checking around town, and it seems like nobody's tied us in with all that stuff we did at the house the other day.
Well, that's good. That's really good.
I was kind of worried we might have piqued some interests, but doesn't seem so, that I can tell.
Excellent. As long as you stay under the radar a little bit, we should be fine on that. Other than the fact that I'm literally wearing a bag made of her wings, there's nothing to tie us.
I return to the table with more mugs of ale. Tie us to what?
Each other, darling.
There's the ale for that.
I am going to take some treats out and start trying to teach Artie some tricks.
Okay, make an animal handling check.
Dirty 20.
What tricks would you like to teach Artie?
There's a couple. I want to teach Artie to play dead,
Mhm.
to get into one of my satchels, which I will modify so that it isn't. I will change one of them so that it's not waterproof, and Artie can just like hop in and then be carried around if needed, being a little nipper when he gets tired. Come on, in you go, and there he is. And the other one, I want to teach him that I will give him something, whatever it is, like a non-food item, like a piece of money, a flower, a piece of cloth, and he won't eat it or chew it, but will take it to the person who I point out.
You can teach 2 of those.
The bag and the taking.
Okay. He learns
Awesome.
those. It takes a little bit of time. He eats the first couple of things you give him.
He tries to eat a gold coin.
He tries. He almost can succeed. You're like, no, 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 and yank it out of his mouth. There's like little bite prints in the coin now.
Awesome. I'll put it in a different place because it's special now.
Fantastic. Is there anything else anybody wants to...
We're long resting after this. I'll probably just cast Peaceful Garden to make bits and bobs and bobbit things for the Displacer Beast cat to play around with. Or normal chaos bits. But no.
Sounds good. So everybody is going to go take their long rest.
Sounds good.
Over the night, you rest. There are no dreams. There are no visits from gods or goddesses or other beings of annoyances. And you wake up long rested very, very early. It's probably equivalent to 2, 3 in the morning, but you got a full 8 hours.
All right, up and early.
You did go to the Fang's quarters, and they didn't have anybody going up there today.
Yeah, still give them the heads up that we're going.
It's easily passed along. So you're just going to take the cart over to the tower after
Yeah, I guess so.
breakfast?
I think so.
All right. You all eat your breakfast and gather in the cart. It's a pretty short ride to the tower. There's no need for any checks because it's a straight path. As you get closer and closer, you feel that same familiar feeling you felt the first time you got here, which was this feeling of dread overcoming you almost, but you're all able to shake it off. There's like still a little bit of unease because you know what waits for you inside to a point. And you're afraid because you haven't been back since the first time. If the theories you have of it changing around are true, and if the damage that was done to the tile remains, there's also rumors that the monsters come back if you're away too long. So you're not sure if any of that is accurate.
Once we get to the point in the battlefield where there's still maybe bodies laying around, can I see if I recognize any hobgoblins? I know that's probably very difficult, but
Make a perception check.
that's a 6.
As you're staring at the bodies that remain from the battles, these are from over a couple of decades. And you see hobgoblins, but they are so badly destroyed or covered with other bodies that you can't make out the features significantly enough to be like, oh, that's this person that I knew. There are a lot of skeletons, and there's a lot of half-decaying corpses of different types. There are a lot of smaller sized and medium sized and even like huge Ulfer body types there, but you don't see any that you're like, that's my friend, that's somebody I knew, that was my neighbor, or anything like that.
Okay. Definitely still just taken in the battlefield. Definitely have that feeling of dread.
As you arrive back to the tower, General Askew is in the front again, and you're back. Surprising, honestly.
Hello, have you been here the whole time?
No, I took a break.
Oh, that's good. It will make sense. It would be hard.
Yes, we do a 3-day rotation.
Ah, that's not too bad. Excellent. I'm glad that the Fangs take care of you.
Only because we demand it.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure if they weren't under such desperate need, and I wasn't such a hard ass, they would not have let that happen, but I refuse to let my people suffer. for weeks on end because they don't know any better because they're too chicken shit to come out here on their own.
I am glad that you have buns of steel.
Buns, brains, and abs.
Noted. You know, if you ever need a hand unwinding at all.
I am happily married, thank you, though.
Ah, excellent. Okay, fair enough. Offers always stand.
I understand. I appreciate the offer. So you're going back in to finish?
See where we can get to. Quite.
We've been looking in the tile that you pointed out previously. She looks at Rhys. It still looks damaged, but when we looked in, every once in a while we can't see very far into it. We think the closest door has opened a few times, so it looks like the rooms are changing, at least what is open. I don't know if they're moving around or what. We can't really make out much beyond the first door.
Well, we'll check it out.
Anything else strange out here? Any attempts to regain the tower?
The few that have been sent were dealt with relatively easily. She nods her head over to a pile of humanoids. There's about a dozen.
All right, I guess we might as well go in.
We should be cautious, though. You know, these rumors, they're potentially dangerous and life-threatening to us.
All right, let's do it. And Rhys will step in.
Okay. As you walk in, you feel that familiar sense of dizziness overwhelm you from the images on the ceilings. Last time this happened, one of you vanished. But this time, as you walk through, you all manage to shake it off and you all remain. And as you glance around the area, you see that there was a door to your immediate right. That is where the footstep was going towards, halfway through the wall. That immediately slams shut as you all walk in. The doorway to the left that you've already been through, that led down a hallway into this big room where that portal was, that door immediately reopens. It's as if the tower remembers.
That's disconcerting.
Does that seem a little inviting? It seems like it wants us to go that way in particular.
Well, we should recheck out any doors anyway, just to make sure that nothing is behind us or has repopulated, because if they've got dead humans outside, then there could be any in these rooms now.
Also, just with what Anjali said, the fact that it seems to be steering us a certain direction is disconcerting.
And is the tower doing this, or is someone watching us and controlling what doors appear and disappear? How is this happening?
When we first came in here, there was a feeling of being watched in this room. Do we still have that?
Mm-hmm.
Can we tell if there's any changes in the patterns in the ceiling?
You can make investigation or a history check.
21.
The ceiling looks identical.
See any changes up there? I mean, it's pretty intricate, but nothing overt anyways. Chandeliers are still there.
And like they said, the tile still looks damaged?
Yep, you see the tile and it is damaged as you damaged it. The markings on the statues still remain.
Anjali just points out to one of the blank faces that had the chalk on it. It's got like the X'd eye on one side and a tongue hanging out drawn on it. Well, I guess proceed.
Cautiously.
So you're checking the first room on the left first?
Yeah, and if it looks the same, obviously checking for enemies, but if the door shuts behind us, then just going through the same motions so that we don't actually have to repeat everything.
You walk down the hallway. The door is open. You look inside with your head for a moment. Everything looks the exact same as it did when you were last there, and all the objects that were stolen are still gone. The portal painting is still there, but the border is singed, so everything looks identical.
Okay.
And there are no new monsters inside.
Do we want to check out the star room, or because the door is shut, leave it and hope no one sneaks out behind us?
I think we can leave it.
When you get there, it is still shut and locked.
Okay, I will move towards the door that was at the center of the back of the room, but cautiously and looking for traps as I go.
Okay, you're going, I'm sorry, to which room? Or hall?
So we've checked the portal art gallery room, we've checked the astral sea room, and then there was, as we walked in, right at the very end on the back wall, there was a doorway.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'm going to that, but cautiously checking the floor as I go to make sure that there's no tripwires, traps, dodgy stones, things.
Make an investigation check.
14.
As you're walking past, you don't see any types of traps on the floor. It looks unscathed. No tripwires, no tiles that are lifted up slightly. And you walk towards the doorway.
I will get to it and stand sort of with my back against the wall next to it and try and look down to, I don't know where the others, if they've come up behind me or anything, but I will try and sort of poke my head round and see what I can see without getting shot or stabbed with an arrow or something.
So the door was unlocked and it opens up easy enough. And then as you glance down, you see a hallway that goes straight. And then there's a turn to the left and a turn to the right. But as you are glancing ahead from a distance, you can kind of make it out as a hexagonal room. And the walls are plain stone. And in the center is a large stone portal. It's an octagon shape reaching from the floor to the ceiling. From this far away, you can't tell how it's carved, but it does look beautiful, even though it looks kind of disturbing as well for because it's full of geometric symbols. And it is polished, smooth, and pristine, cleaner than anything else in this place.
Is that, so you said that I look down and the hallway sort of goes down, then branches left and right. Is that ahead?
It also
Is that...
goes straight, yeah.
Okay, right, so that's directly ahead. Okay, so it's a cross junction, and ahead of us is this hexagonal...
Correct.
I'm going to cast Smarty Pants as I pull out a pair of pants from the bag of holding.
Okay.
And you guys watch Rhys pull out just a random loose pair of pants, also pulling out some components from his pockets. The pants seem to almost come to life, and tell the pants, all right, listen, stay 60 feet ahead of us and just try to be careful. And pants nod with their waist and just start walking ahead of us.
Can you get it to stomp instead of being careful? Maybe triggering something?
I could try. It's not too heavy, but we can see if it does anything. How long is the hallway?
15 feet.
Yeah, I'll have the pants go to the cross junction.
Okay. At the cross junction, nothing happens.
Okay.
But as you see the pants moving forward, as you're glancing at that room with the giant stone in the center, it begins to warp and twist like a kaleidoscope. And then you are all forced to look away. And when you look back, it does not look like it did before. Instead, it's a long corridor that you can't see the end of.
All right, that's odd.
Are my pants still on? Like, are they still there?
Yes to both questions.
Where are my pants?
All right, just making sure.
The hallway did not change, the room changed, period. And made the hallway seem longer.
Ah, okay.
So is there still a cross junction where the pants were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just a straight ahead hallway extended, like a dream thing.
Yep.
Angeli's gonna whip a couple of ball bearings down the hallway.
Which direction?
Straight ahead.
Okay. A dex throw. Straight dex.
22. Oh god, all my good rolls are happening now.
Okay. You chuck the ball bearing down and it basically bounces off of the floor and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. And you're able to tell from the sound, it goes a good 70 plus feet before you hear it stop rolling. And then there's nothing. There's no more noise after that.
Did you guys hear that? I'm getting about 60, 70. Does that match up with what it looks like?
Big space.
You can't see that far, so...
I have dark vision for 120 feet due to being a drunk monk now.
You can see that far.
What do I see?
You see that the hallway ends 100 feet away from the beginning of the entrance. Not to the cross junction, but before that.
Is it just a wall?
No, it's pitch black after that.
Oh,
There's just nothingness.
I'll relay that. Do I see any monsters?
Not straight ahead.
So as far as I'm concerned, it goes all the way down and then just empty.
From what you can tell from here, yeah.
Okay, I relay that.
Can you see the ball bearing there, or did it roll into empty?
You do not see the ball bearing.
It's too small, I'm afraid. I can't quite make that out.
I was just wondering if the sound cut off abruptly if it once it rolled into that. Interesting. I don't suppose anybody can cast light. Next time I do that, if you can, maybe we can throw light on it.
Here, I can, and I'm going to hand the drift globe over.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. I mean on a ball bearing if we throw it ahead of us like that.
No, but what I can do is cast Rainbow Bridge 30 feet away from me, which is 30 feet of light. So we would have light for 30 feet, and then in theory, I would be able to see for further because of dark vision, right?
I'm maybe try it and find out.
I will say that adding light in between just affects your dark vision worse. You would know this already.
Okay, I won't bother them. Yeah.
It's like putting a light on where you have night vision goggles on. It just makes you blind temporarily.
Alrighty. Well, no sense standing here all day, and Angeli will start moving forward.
I think Rhys at least feels safe up to the junction.
Yep.
Angeli, you said you're going to start moving. Are you going straight ahead, left, or right?
Into the junction first, but unless there's anything on either side that attracts her attention, she'll go straight.
What does left and right look like?
When you're in the junction and you look to the left, about 15 feet ahead is a hallway to the right. 15 feet further is a doorway that is closed. And then straight ahead, it ends in a wall, a solid wall. On the right, you do not see anything on the wall, but you see that the hallway goes towards your left when you're facing that direction. So both hallways go to the same direction to the east. You don't see anything beyond that.
We have more options for danger on the left, which means that we should go that way because more things can come out at us and stab us in the back if we don't.
All right.
But if you'd rather go the safer way and loop round, so long as someone's watching our back at all times, then that's okay with me too.
Maybe we should clear the wings before we go forward. That way nothing can come up behind us.
Tzaz is already kind of walking down towards the left in the hallway.
I'll keep pace with Tzaz.
Rhys is going to take out his scimitar and on the corner of the wall of just wherever we are, just put a little scratch on the wall.
Okay.
I will wait until Rhys has moved into the middle, and if Rhys doesn't, after he's made his mark, I will politely nudge him into the middle, and then I will take up either the rear or joint rear with Angelique.
He gets the hint. He won't fight it. He'll join them.
Yeah,
So
Angeli
you're
will have
going-
her bow out and will be in rank with Haven.
Are you going to the left or to the right?
I think we're all going left.
Okay. So you walk 15 feet forward and you see the hallway that goes to the right. And in that hallway, you see one door on the left-hand side with a pedestal sitting in front of it. And it goes down to another turn and a small door. Or you can keep going up to the door that's on the left-hand side that you already saw.
I'll keep, well, assuming that the people in front of me keep moving towards the one we already saw, then I'll keep going in that direction, but I'm at the back, so I'll just follow everyone else.
I can have the smarty pants open the door.
Cool.
Hey, Rhys!
Yeah.
Are you able to cast 2 spells at once? Like, this smarty pants thing, is it taking up a lot of your brain power?
No, I can cast something.
Okay, the lesbians. Is there any way, I don't know if you have enough, but could you, like, get one to stand in this junction so it watches behind us and this corridor and can warn us when something comes?
But that's a good idea.
It can watch our backs while we're like clearing stuff, and then we don't have to, and I am whispering as Haven, we don't have to worry about what's coming up behind because we'll have a permanent guard.
Protective lesbian?
Hold on, watch this.
Yes.
And I will cast Summon a Protective Lesbian. We'll have Eva appear, and
Excellent.
hey Eva, so we're in a tough, spot right now. If you could just stay back a little bit, watch our backs. You don't have to do any fighting, but if anything happens, just give us a shout.
And as a friendly reminder, Eva is pale-skinned with red gems in her forehead like a V shape, and she has very pale eyes, and the veins covering down her face are very prominent, but she has very long white hair, horns, and she's very gorgeous with jewelry and like a giant fur coat on.
For those not familiar, this is Eva.
You're full of surprises, Rhys.
Thank you. She is a professional protective lesbian, and she's just going to watch our back. Alright,
She
cool.
nods.
And in the notes it says she will stand guard over camp and rouse the caster or a maximum of 3 allies if danger is sensed approaching within 100. All right, cool. All right, let's keep moving. Smarty pants ahead of us, protective lesbian behind us. Fantastic. I'm loving these spells.
Angeli just smiles at Eva
Nicely done.
on the way by.
And just place her beast somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
In a pocket.
Yep, Displacer Beast is in a little sling in front of me right now.
The Smarty Pants is able to open the door, but you are far enough back that you can't see inside yet.
Okay. I guess I'll just command him to walk in and out, like enter 5 feet, exit 5 feet. See if he comes back out alive.
He enters and exits without issue.
And he gives like a little wave.
Lifts his knee and waggles his foot,
Yeah.
yeah?
I mean, if we're going forward, we're going forward. What's directly in front of us? We got a hallway on the left.
We're at the door that we
We're at the
originally
door that we
saw
already saw,
far
okay.
down on the left. Yeah.
I mean, look back at the group and then reach toward the door.
So you look inside, and the room is 15 feet wide, and as you glance inside, it goes a very far way down, but it's very well lit in here. So it's 300-400 feet almost straight back, which does not logically make sense because you've only walked 30-45 feet max, but this goes back towards where you just were, 400 feet. Inside, there are tiled floors that go from one side all the way to the majority of the other. And there are 2 rows of 8 columns down the length of the room, each 5 feet from the walls on either side, and they're spaced 50 feet apart from each other. At the end of the room, there is a untiled section that has a dozen boxes and a chest sitting, collecting dust. And as you all walk inside, the door will close behind you.
That's unsettling.
My pants!
Eva!
Ah, shit. Alright. Alright, well, we're cut off of them for a bit.
You can say that your pants walked in with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have the pants led the way in.
Do the pants have pockets?
Mm-hmm. It can hold up to a maximum of 4 pounds. Said the room is well lit, right? So I'll have the pants, kind of walk ahead 60 feet.
Did you say the tiles go left and right all the way to the wall, or there's a space?
The entire floor, except for the very end, is covered in tiles.
Okay. Anything odd about the tiles, or all the same color?
As of the moment when you're just looking at them, nothing looks odd. They look like normal tiles.
Are they mismatched? Are they discolored? Are they checkered?
Checkered.
Ugh.
Checkered, okay.
How high is the ceiling?
40 feet. The
Okay.
pants move forward, right?
Yeah, it can only go 60 feet from me. So
That's fine.
as the group moves forward, it's going to be 60 feet ahead of it. Okay, now, guys, listen to me. Our job is to check out the tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess keep whatever we find, right? I don't know. What kind of vibes you guys getting from this room? I am...
Unsettling ones.
Because spatially, this should not...
Well, the hallway shouldn't extend in front and behind us either, and they do. Or seem to,
Yeah.
anyways. Angeli's going to take to the air, about 5 feet.
That's fine. So as the pants are moving forward, it walks 5, 10, 15 feet, and then once it steps on the 4th tile, it falls through the floor, and then you see it appear at the ceiling and slam into the floor. Do your pants have damage that it can handle in HP?
It has 2 hit points.
Your pants are dead.
No! Pants!
They've been
Not the
folded! Oh
pants!
my god!
The pants still exist, but they are no longer walking.
I think we have some ball bearings we could scatter out. She will take one out and roll it towards where the pants vanish, just to see if it's heavy enough to vanish as well.
Nothing happened.
It just rolls across the space?
Mhm.
Or not.
I am going to walk out and deliberately stamp on a square either side of, like I'm going to walk in a line and then stamp on one square either side of where I am.
Maybe we do a rope thing?
Nope. And that's what I'm going to do. And when I fall, I'm going to fly.
I'll stay very close behind Haven, walking only where they walked, but just staying kind of close behind where you are.
I will give you the Displacer Beast
Excellent.
and the whole satchel.
I'll take
I don't want the poor little guy getting scared.
I'll take Artie and I'll walk behind you.
You know, I know you guys love your Displacer Beast, but are you sure the people going into, like, close combat should be carrying them?
Gotta get him used to it somehow.
All right.
So you walk across you walk just straight across 15 feet on the next set of tiles?
So I'm doing a 5-footer and then the one to the side of me and one to the side of me and just keep doing that as I go down.
Angeli mentions to no one, he cautioned me about going ahead.
I told everyone and I've made it abundantly clear exactly where I am and what I'm doing. You didn't.
The
Directly ahead.
first tile you step on opens up and you fall and you are able to take flight.
Okay.
And that is where we will end today's episode. Bum, bum, bum.
Shit. Okay.
Oh, violence does call me, I've answered before. I've made many